YouTube is YT Wake 'em Up, back at it again with another video. This one right here is about the retirement crisis that's happening. If you haven't heard, the majority of people in the workforce won't be able to retire no more. They're also extending the retirement age to 70 instead of 67. So the age will continue to be extended so that generations cannot partake in retiring. You already know the drill. If you're brand new to the channel, smash the subscribe button so these videos can pop up on your timeline. And I need everybody else, including the new subscribers, to thumbs up this video so the algorithm can push it out. With that said, let's talk about this retirement crisis.
We are headed straight towards a genuine national emergency and no one is talking about it. 90% of lower income adults have virtually nothing saved for their retirement. We're talking millions of people who are entering retirement age who have nothing to pay for their elderly care, for their health care, for their food, for their housing. And even if they did, I can tell you with confidence, long-term care facilities around the country are already packed. There's no room. And this issue is not getting like any airtime with any serious concern. What the fuck are we supposed to do with millions of people who have nothing for retirement? If you thought the unhoused and homeless issue was bad now, give it 15 years. We're looking at millions of people on the streets. Elderly people.
Like I said, the retirement fund is actually drying up. And look at it like this, right? A lot of people work and live a lifestyle of complacency, a lifestyle where they really can't get to do what they want to do. They get to do what they can do. After you retire, you live off a portion of the income you already couldn't survive off of.
I'm going to need companies to stop contributing to a 401k or some sort of retirement account that I may never see, and then start asking me if I would like to contribute to a savings account that I could access at any time. How many people are actually realistically going to retire now with how inflation is right now? The, overall cost of, I would rather be accessing that money right now when I can actually use it and not hypothetically, potentially, maybe one day end up using it when I retire, which may or may not happen. But, why should corporate America help the people that keep them running?
Y'all do know we are currently going through an economic downturn. When this happens, 401ks, pensions, those funds tend to dry up. You tend to have less in your policy than you had previously. This happened in 08. People thought they had a certain amount. Reality check, you got way less than you thought. You're not going to be able to survive off of this. So I don't blame her. I mean, I always said this myself. If I had a lot of money in retirement, I would pull it out, take the little penalty, pull it out and put it into tangible assets. Learn how to invest yourself. That's how they really get people. Well, you don't know how to invest, so we'll invest the money for you. Nah, you better get some investing knowledge up under your belt, man. You better learn how to invest. Get a financial advisor on your own. Put your money into assets that will give you gains back monthly instead of annually. But who am I? Who am I to tell people what to do with their money? I'm just saying.
I keep seeing this clip of Nikki Haley where they ask her, like, hey, you said you're going to raise the retirement age to 70? She's like, yeah, for anyone who's like in their 20s, they're going to have to retire at 70. They can't retire at 67. And I'm like, first thing, like, my dude right here, you expect him to work to be 70. You expect him to work till he's 70? Or even some young people on this fucking app, people younger than me. Like, am I included in that group, Nikki? I'm almost 40. I'm a few months away from 40. Am I included in that group? Second thing, Nikki, how is your only idea of, hey, Social Security isn't banking enough money to just pay less Social Security? How is that the idea when I just read a report that said we're going to see the first trillionaire in the world soon? In the next 10 years, someone will own $1 trillion. Just so you guys know, that's $1 million. It's 1,000 billion is a trillion. And a billion is 1,000 million. And a million is 1,000,000. So someone will have $1 million, but you can't figure out how to get some of that money out of them? Like, we got billionaires running around. What are they doing? Buying Twitter and ruining it? Jeff Bezos out here making like $7.9 million a minute, and he's using that money to do what? Build a clock in case aliens find us when we're all dead? Because somebody please come up with an idea. Just one fucking idea that isn't Hey, work until you die. That would be great. I would like one fucking person to just walk up to the podium and be like, hey, my platform is you don't work till you die. You get a couple years. Just a couple years. When I was born, the retirement age was 63. 63. And now our expectation for how long we live is dropping, and we're working longer, and there's less jobs. What fucking job do you expect a 69-year-old to do? Cashier? They don't have that many of those anymore. And that's now. I'm not talking 49 years from now. Nikki Haley? How many old people, 69-year-olds, do you expect to see working? What are they supposed to do? Swing a hammer? Where are we going with this? What are we doing here? AI's out here replacing fucking everything. Everything is running through. The only jobs that are going to be left in the future are plumber and HVAC. You know why? Because all the servers that operate all these fucking AI farms need running water and they need to stay cold. But somewhere out there's some asshole who's figuring out like, all right, I can make a computer server that doesn't overheat. Somewhere out there. And that dude is going to be ruining the last two jobs that humans need. Fuck out of here.
Solid points, my boy. Solid points. He took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, I've been saying this. AI and automation will take most jobs. So being 67, what type of job can you do for real? What type of job do you have the mental capacity and the physical attributes to do? That's way too old to be working. Unless you're going to be the president. You will be up there like Sleepy Joe. Falling down and not knowing what he's doing, just signing documents and messing the country up more and more every single day. That's about the only job you can get at that age. And the fact that retirement went from, it used to be 65, turned to 67, now it's 70. Now, I don't care what scriptures you read, what you believe in, but the scriptures only promised us 70 years. So they want to push you right to the brink that either you gonna die at the job or you might die the same day that you retire or live a couple years.
America has a retirement crisis, and it's only getting worse. 80% of households with older adults, about 47 million, are financially struggling today and are at risk of falling into economic insecurity, meaning that they can become unhoused, they don't have access to proper health care, and they have food insecurity.
Basically, 80% are on the verge of being in poverty. 80% right now. Imagine in the next couple of years, once hyperinflation sets in.
So what are Republicans suggesting as the solution to this problem? They want to raise the retirement age to 70, even though life expectancy has been falling in America. As of 2021, the average life expectancy in the US is 76 years old. So if you're lucky, you get to retire by 70, struggle financially for 6 years, and then drop dead. But that's not all. Not only do they want the older generation working as long as possible, they also want the younger generation to get to work as soon as possible. Florida just passed a law allowing teenagers to work more than 30 hours a week, 6 days a week, without even a lunch break, and they can do this while they're going to school. In France, workers have been burning the country to the ground because they're trying to raise the retirement age from 62 to 64. Meanwhile, in America, we are being gaslit with propaganda like this, where we're being told that employees over 65 are working more than ever, which is a silver lining and great for the bottom line. And let me be clear, this is not for the employees' bottom line, it's for the corporations. For those of us who are older, we're trying to scramble and save and invest as much money as we can so that we don't have to retire into poverty. As for the younger generations, they've already wised up to this. They know it's going to take a revolution. It's going to take drastic action. They're going to need to boycott, strike, bring back unions in order to change the dynamic here, because the status quo doesn't change voluntarily by the people at the top. Change has to happen with pressure, and it has to be sometimes done by force.
Listen, it's all about working smarter, not harder in this day and age. Making your dollars work for you, right? Every dollar should be an employee of you. It should be going out and bringing back another dollar. That's the only way to financially get ahead and be able to have a fund. Develop your own investment strategy. Put your money into your own Roth IRA or, investment portfolio or whole life insurance policy, something like that. That is your job. We cannot depend on these corporations who are just trying to rob us. These greedy corporations, their plan is not logical, it's not sustainable, it will not work. Period. Put all that work in for somebody else just to live in poverty and die broke and stressed out. It don't make sense. So let's look at this lady, 40 years old and no retirement plan. Just what I was talking about. You gotta have some type of plan for yourself.
I am 41 years old and I have absolutely no savings for retirement. I've spent the last 10 or 12 years being a broke single mom and at times living off of food stamps. Any time I've ever gotten ahead financially, I've always had a setback. I'm currently like $14,000 in credit card debt and $83,000 in student loan debt.
Wow, $83,000 in student loan debt. Would she go to be an astronaut? She might as well just file for bankruptcy. Or, because me, I don't advocate for bankruptcy. I advocate for let that hit your credit report, don't pay it off for 6 months. Go ahead and repair your credit. Get that out the way. Wipe that debt clean. You got a fresh slate. That's what I would recommend, but that's crazy, $83,000. She got over damn near $100,000 in debt right there.
And I don't even have a master's degree. I went to University of Phoenix and got scammed, and I'm hoping to get my University of Phoenix loans forgiven.
At least you know it was a scam.
That's still pending. Even at that, I still owe $27,000 because I ended up going to a brick and mortar school. So I don't know when I'm ever going to retire. I plan on dying at my cubicle.
Sheesh, that ending. I plan on dying at my cubicle. That's her plan. She got no plan. Her plan is to die at her cubicle. At least she's not delusional. She already know that she's not going to get to retire and she's going to die at the cubicle. That's the reality for a lot of people if they continue to follow this blueprint that was outlined for the American people. Or if you just continue to work without making any type of investments or depending on one stream of income. Or 3. Some people got 3 or 4 jobs, but the job within itself is not sustainable at this point in time without some type of investment strategy. Like if you working 2 or 3 jobs, take those funds and invest it into yourself. You are your greatest investment.
I was reading a news article yesterday, and in the news article, it said that the average 65-year-old in 2024 has to have at least 1.46 million in retirement savings in their IRA or their 401k in order to live comfortably. So by 2050, the average American 65 years of age yesterday. And I was reading a news article yesterday, and in the news article, it said that the average 65-year-old in 2024 has to have at least 1.46 million in retirement savings in their IRA or their 401k in order to live comfortably. So by 2050, the average American 65 years of age or older, or whatever the retirement age at that time, more than likely to be 70, will have to have an average of 3.36 million in their retirement savings in order to live comfortably.
Let's just pause it right there. The American dream now costs $3.4 million. This is as of December 2023, so she right on point. You can need $3.4 million to be able to retire, and you can't get that out of no job. You're not getting that out of no job, not in savings. You might gross that throughout your lifetime or whatever, but you will never have that at one time.
I say that to say that, don't stress yourself out. Whatever you're doing today, keep doing it. Don't let people pressure you about not climbing the corporate ladder, not opening that business. Live for today and just make the best of it. Because at the end of the day, if you're not a millionaire by the age of 65, then you're probably going to be struggling. And I talk to these people every day. I talk to people about transitioning their employer-based accounts to retirement individual accounts. And they constantly tell me how they do not have enough money to keep these accounts going. They do not have enough money to keep these bills going, to keep the same benefits that they had when they were working, because after they retire, they're only given a fixed income unless they're making more money than that. And a lot of people retiring now do not have $1.46 million in their retirement savings. So live for today.
Yeah. Live within a moment. Don't focus on the future. The future is not promised, for one. 2, the American dream is dead. It's impossible to have $3.4 million in your savings account, in your retirement fund, any of that working a normal 9 to 5. You would literally need to make a couple hundred to a couple $1,000s. I don't know what the numbers would be, but it's impossible. Working a job, straight up. Start a business, and yeah, you could do that.
I had a conversation with my dad, and I asked him when my grandpa retired. My grandpa retired at 55. I said, wow, you're 10 years older and you can't afford to retire. And then they just want to increase the retirement age, which I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong here, would then push back the age of Social Security and push back the age so we can start utilizing 401ks and IRAs. I just want to reiterate this. So my grandpa retired at 55 years old and supported himself for 30 years. 30 years before he died.
Somebody said, I'm 57, I'll die on the job.
I know they can't be for real about raising the retirement age to 70. This isn't a political rant. This is a there's more to life than working rant. I hope this is the kickstart that you need if you've been thinking about starting an online business or starting a side hustle. It's why I'm doing it, because I have no intentions of working until I'm 70. It seems like for us millennials and the Gen Zers that follow us, they keep moving the goalposts for us, as if the ridiculous cost of housing wasn't enough, and groceries being through the roof, and literally the cost of everyday life becoming more and more unaffordable for the average American, and now they want you to work even longer. And it's not that we're lazy, it's just that we realize that there is more to life than working. And the time and effort that we have been putting into work is not giving us the same benefits that were afforded to the previous generations. I'm an elder millennial, so I've already been in the workforce for a long time, so I'm doing what I can right now to set myself up for future me. Work until 70 couldn't be me. Let me know what you think.
A lot of people don't even think they're going to live to 70, let alone could you see yourself working until 70? What did you do out of life if you just work until 70? There's more to life than just working for somebody else. Make a substantial income that takes little to no effort, aka get passive income going. That's the best route. That's the best route to take. That's the only sustainable route to take. If you made it to the end of this video, drop I made it in the comments. And I think this last guy had the most logical points here. Start that business, man. Brainstorm what you really want to do. And find your purpose at the end of the day. Just living your purpose is all about being happy throughout life, you know. Find what makes you happy. That way you're not focused on all of these different agendas that are in place and the stress of not being able to live the life that was promised to everybody else. It's YT, wake 'em up. Peace.